moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Denver Broncos and the Indianapolis Colts. Both of these teams about to reach the halfway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
I'm going back to you. I'm going back to you.
From the gun, here's Brissett. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. And that's caught inside the 30. A big play there on the first play of the game. 41 yards. Well, how about a deep ball on the first play from scrimmage, putting that secondary on notice?
Brandon, all I remember when I was a player is that we always took a test the night before the game about teams' tendencies and what they plan to do. I'm not sure we think deep ball right out of the gate and putting us back on our heels.
To throw on 2nd and 6. Brissett. And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. John Brown. His 4th touchdown on the year. As his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And that makes the score 7-0. Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. This fielded at the 2. Cordero Patterson past the 20. Touchdown, Indianapolis. That kick return TD is 98 yards in length as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. Well, go ahead and strap in, partner. Less than 2 minutes in, had the score on the one side. A quick answer, though, to get the equalizer.
Sometimes you get that sense of urgency that ratchets up, right? When you give up an early touchdown like that, you just know you're like, okay, how do we go back and equalize things? Can we get it done fast? And they absolutely did. Essentially, we're back to even, aren't we?
Extra point tacked on by Lambeau, and we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. To throw is Brissett. And he finds Fitzgerald. And they're able to get this one across the 35. That one good for 13 and a Denver first down. A first down throw for Brissett. That catch is a big one. We got to note it. Ties him for number 2 all-time with Tony Gonzalez. 1,325 career receptions.
And didn't they always tell us to model our performance, model our games after the greats that came before us? Well, here's a great example of why he's at this number. Took care of himself off the field and really produced on it.
18 big yards on that one and a Denver first. If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well.
And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game...
Rush coming, and he's taken down. A sack by Brandon Graham. He's been doing that since he entered the league in 2010. Now, following the sack, they'll come up here on a 2nd down and 12. Here's Brissett. He'll let this go for the end zone. Oh, he almost had it for the pick. A great chance there for the interception in the end zone. Instead, 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Out of the gun, Brissett. Eluding the pressure right. And this is going to be incomplete.
As my dad used to tell me all the time, when you're getting ready to play a big-time game, especially when you have one going into a dome setting, better strap it up tight because that crowd can really affect things.
Especially on 3rd downs like the one we just saw there with the incompletion. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason.
Push him back. Push him back.
They'll go with their leading rusher from a season ago. This is Aaron Jones. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A gain of 28 yards there and give them a 1st down. So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 39-yard line. Now Allen. He'll find Metcalf. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down. That pass play wound up for negative yardage, so here's 2nd and 11. They'll run it with Jones. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Give the Colts 13 yards and a 1st down. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation? We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays. To the air, Allen. Back of the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete.
When you got your backs in the shadow of your goal line, you've got to be physical in that situation because there's not a whole lot of space, not a lot of wild plays that can be run there.
That's put up or shut up time. Defensively, nice job just to make sure they didn't complete it on that play. Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal. They'll run with a 3rd-year man. This is Tariq Cohen. And he's going to bull his way down to about the 1-yard line. A nice run there, 8 yards, moves him much closer to the goal line now for 3rd down.
It's now 3rd and goal.
They're knocking on the door as they come to the line here on 3rd and goal from the 1. And that is caught. Touchdown, Indianapolis. DK Metcalf, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Colts are going to jump back in front. Point after by Lambeau, up and good. And the lead is now 14-10. And Lambeau now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. We are in for a good one as we're through one on EA Sports. Second and 6, just inside the 30. Now Brissett. Airing this one out for Fitzgerald. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's third down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Switch it. Wide, get wide. Hey, look, get the 6. Tight go.
Now a draw play to McCaffrey. They find some open field here. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. And he will finally be taken down, but not before he gets it to the Colts' 35-yard line. So that changes things a bit. Here's a 1st and 10 all the way down at the 35. On the ground, McCaffrey. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down. Throwing on 2nd and 14. Brissett. It's hauled in by Brandon Cooks. And they'll get him to the ground. He has another 1st down at the Colts 19. From the red zone now, Brissett. And that is caught. Touchdown, Denver. Brandon Cooks, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Broncos have once again taken the lead. Sanders on for the extra point. It's good, and they'll take a 17-14 lead. Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And Charles, the way touchdowns have come so fast and furious for both sides in this thing, it's starting to feel a little bit more like maybe a tennis match in a football game.
Yeah, I like your description there. Maybe we're sitting in a nice royal box watching this type of a game. But let's face it, right now, the way it's going back and forth, it's going to come down to who can get a stop.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Here's Jones. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1. They'll try and run for it with Jones. He's got daylight. He's at the 30. 10. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Aaron Jones. His 5th touchdown now on the year, as his guys are able to regain the lead. Extra point tacked on by Lambeau, and that will make this a 4-point game. And Lambeau now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They have to be pleased with the way that they've moved the football thus far.
And why wouldn't they be? 2 touchdowns on a field goal in their first 3 possessions. They're playing so well right now, the field goal probably feels like a disappointment.
Looking for more there on first down, but this throw downfield incomplete. From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. Brissett, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Von Miller racking up sack number 12 for him on the year.
So this has been a lot like a tennis match, hasn't it? Back and forth. Both these offenses having their way so far, so maybe the question isn't who's going to score the most points in this game. Maybe it's who's going to get some stops.
Yeah, absolutely, and that sack finally a first step in the right direction for a stop. Now he's going to go deep down the left side. Trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jonathan Jones. And they finally put it into this return, but not before he's all the way down to the 37. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but they make them out of bounds. That does you no good.
A nice job to get 8 there after the incompletion, and now they'll look at a 3rd and 2 coming up.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd.
That was well defended, and while it was a completion, it resulted in a loss of yardage. It's really, really hard for a running back to think to himself, I probably should have just dropped it and saved the yardage. It goes against the entire training that he's had his whole career.
They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. It's what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you've got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jonathan Jones. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line. Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now, hard to believe, the halfway point of the season. Time flying.
It certainly is. Time to get the sweaters out, my man.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Got out of the pocket. Didn't look like he had anybody open, Charles, so just gets rid of it.
And a good play by him. If no one's open and you don't have a running lane that you want to take, make the right choice. Get rid of it. Live to fight another down.
2nd and 10 from the 33-yard line. And here's Allen. Going to throw again. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they didn't completions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the 1st down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
Open man is Metcalf. He's got it. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And the key number on that play, 3. 3rd play of the drive. 3rd down, spectacular catch, turns into a 1st down.
1st down saves them from a 3 and out. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal.
80 weapons.
First down, a run with Cohen. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Tariq Cohen, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Colts, they add on to their advantage.
I know the play ends up in the end zone with one person carrying the ball, but how about that big mass of humanity that guided him to that spot?
Yeah, they got there, but I love the dive. Always a fan of the dive. Point after by Lambeau, up and good. And the lead now up to 14. And Lambeau now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away.
The Broncos take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And with still more than a minute to go in the half, time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You could never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
Brissett now. This complete to Jones. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. To throw, Brissett. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Von Miller, he's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues. They'll throw now on the final play. Airing this one out. That's caught inside the 20. And he's in for the touchdown on the final play of the first half. The prayer is answered.
How did they get that done?
And here on the road, that could be a huge score for their morale in the second half.
Every team has confidence going into the start of games. But sometimes you get it rocked a little bit, and they certainly applies here for them. But guess what? Just what you said, this touchdown can give them their belief back that they can win in the second half.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And that will take us to the end of the first half of play. So we've reached halftime in a wild first half. We'll take a minute to catch our breath as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. Second half ready to get underway. The Colts with a lead, and they will receive the football. This is fielded at the goal line. And some good coverage there by the kick team as they'll bring him down at the 16-yard line. The Indy offense at the line and set to go. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deep.
He's got a man. Complete. 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Indianapolis. DK Metcalf, 84 yards. And the Colts, they add on to their advantage. A nice throw there by the second-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that was the kind of play he would have made as a rookie, because usually your rookie season, is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to a second and sometimes third progression. That was a nice play.
Extra point tacked on by Lambeau, and the lead now up to 14. And Lambeau now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away.
The Broncos take over 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
Go, go, go.
From the shotgun, it's Brissett. Flush to his right. And that's complete to Brown. That's a gain of 11. Would have been a first down if not for that penalty moments ago. To throw again on second down. Brissett. He gets it to Cooks. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. They'll try and pick it up with McCaffrey. And, boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short.
Well, that didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
So in their own territory, but they only need a few inches, so they're going to opt to go for this thing. We'll see. Maybe a surprise pass or run. What will they do? We're about to find out. 4th down. They only needed a few inches, but still some anxious moments there, but they do convert on 4th.
Coming this way, coming this way. Here we go, here we go, here we go.
Now this time he'll look to throw. And that's complete to Cooks. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Bronco first down. Now from Colts territory, here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Brissett sets to throw it over the middle, and it's incomplete. Christian McCaffrey, last year's catch leader among running backs, the intended receiver. That'll bring up second down.
Check. 53, Mike. Watch the run. Shoot.
Back to the ground attack here. It's McCaffrey. Fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. Just a couple there on the second down run. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8 situation. 7th play of the drive, forthcoming on 3rd and 8. Here's Brissett. That's complete to McCaffrey. And this play comes to a halt at the 33, and obviously that's well short of the first down. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive. So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. From the left hash, it's an even 50-yard attempt. And his kick is absolutely perfect. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And last time the formula was pretty simple. One-play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, one-play drive's exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was real easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
And we'll see if it's that easy here. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
They're not ready for this, man. Regular.
Here's Allen. Caught by Jones. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. On 3rd and long, it's Allen. This one into the hands of Metcalf. Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a 1st down. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And that'll make it 2nd and 12. They'll run on 2nd down with Cohen. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down. When this offense gathers to watch the tape, they're going to like a lot of what they saw. They put up big numbers, but they might fast forward through that last play.
Oh, there won't be any fast forwarding, partner. I've sat in those sessions before. You end up spending more time on the bad plays than you do on the good ones. It's just the nature of coaches. But I know
he rifles one that's intercepted. Picked by Kevin Byard. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. He was looking for Paul Richardson there. From the 32 now. Here's 1st and 10.
Under 10. 10. Watch the twist. Watch the twist.
They'll try to get the running game going with McCaffrey. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. A Bronco 1st down there, 12 yards on the play. Back to the ground on 1st, it's McCaffrey. And he'll wind up losing yardage here, back at the 21-yard line. Back now in Indianapolis. It's the Broncos trailing, but they do have possession of the football as we begin quarter number 4. And that is caught, but he will come down out of bounds, says the side judge, incomplete. Brandon Cooks, the receiver he was going after. And that'll make it 3rd down.
53, Mike. Here we go.
Shotgun handoff now to McCaffrey. And a pretty nice tackle there, ranging up from his free safety spot as he'll stop him about a yard short. They'll get 11, but still a little short. 4th down.
It's now 4th down.
So now here comes the field goal team for the 3rd time today. The kick by Sanders is good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. All right, so they needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal there, maybe not exactly what they wanted, but the necessary first step.
There's still time remaining, and there's enough time to get it done. They've got to get it the least a 3 and out here to get the ball back, preferably a takeaway.
And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. The Indy offense at the line and set to go. They have the lead, obviously, late in the game. I guess the good news for them is if for some reason they would make a mistake, a field goal does the opposition no good.
Everyone loves to have a little bit of a cushion, and that helps you immeasurably. But the bottom line is, do all the things that you're taught in order to close out the game. Don't even let that become an issue.
Yeah, but still a one-possession game. This one not fully over yet. On second down and 4, Allen. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Randy Gregory able to record his 5th sack of the season. The Colts on third down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This is 3rd and 7. To throw, it's Allen. And he finds Cook. That one for Indianapolis, resulting in 15 yards and a fresh set of downs.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on third down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively a backbreaker. Allen now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Jones. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. The safety, Keanu Neal, there to make the tackle. Looking to throw on second down. Allen. And his throw's going to be incomplete. The rookie DK Metcalf, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd down. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Well, the second down throw on target. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. The Bronco first down there, 12 yards on the play.
Watch the whip. Hey, switch gears.
On first down, this is McCaffrey. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. Throwing on second down. Brissett steps away to his left. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked up by Sean Williams. And he will score. Touchdown, Indianapolis.
Now, that was a beautiful play. A pick 6. How would you punctuate something like that, partner?
You mean with an exclamation mark?
Exclamation mark, a big word. What would you do with that?
Ampersand?
I like it.
Point after by Lambo, up and good. And the lead is up to 15 now. This is fielded at the goal line. And he is going to be brought down at the 3-yard line.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
And he'll get this up past the 5 to the 7-yard line. So it's Bronco football as we get you reset here. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked up by Jonathan Jones, and he's going to return it to the 21-yard line. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offense coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
Now a first down carry by Jones. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be second down.
Second and 10 at the 21-yard line.
The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Another running situation on the doorstep as they come up second and 10. And they take a knee. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. And they will take a knee here.
A loss of a yard. It's 4th down.
Well, they could just run this clock out, but here is the field goal unit on 4th down. This to make it a 3-score game late. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Colts, they remain one of the hottest teams out there as the win moves them to 6-1. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Meanwhile, for the Broncos, they drop back to 500 now at 4 up and 4 down. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.